It's almost like one of those things where you try to cater to the lowest common denominator, but you end up not appealing to anyone.
Like what they did with their games. Hey guys, this is Daniel.
And Matthew, and you're checking out episode 2 of our Halo TV series discussion video.
Yeah, we just got done. Sorry, we just got done watching the second episode of the new Halo TV series, and we're gonna discuss what we like, what we don't like, and just overall spoilers or no. Let's get that out of the way.
Might as well.
Okay, so we'll get a little bit more detailed into this one.
Right. So what did you think? Because I think I went first last time.
Nothing happened.
Pretty boring, yeah.
Yeah, I kind of felt like, it's developing some of the story. It's leading more into the Cortana program, obviously. Yeah. I like how they are using a lot of the characters from canon, but I don't like how they're changing them. Like how the one human girl with the prophets has the mark of shame, which is the Arbiter. So I'm hoping that they don't replace the Arbiter with her. That would be lame. That'd be really, really lame.
That would be very lame. They'd have to go back and redo all of RB and the Chief.
Yeah. I don't know. I didn't feel like enough happened to even really have an opinion on the episode.
Well, okay, so if you had to give it a numerical rating,
a 5?
5? Okay.
It was just something to watch, but nothing. It wasn't really exciting. Kind of developed the story a little bit, but you didn't have to spend a whole hour doing what they did.
Right. Well, so I thought it was interesting in, like you said, they're flashing out characters and then kind of seeing where they're differing from the game and that sort of thing, since they're going all obviously not canon. And yeah. It was pretty boring, honestly. I know that they're setting everything up like you said, but just some shit could have happened. A fight could have broken out on that planet. It's supposed to be, they're setting it up like it's some kind of hive of scum and villainy. The guy was just describing as a bunch of rebels and people that don't fit in on other planets and all this crap. And then they're just all getting along. Everything's fucking kumbaya and shit. No fist fights, no gun fights, no nothing. The amount of the only kind of disturbance was when Chief showed up and they've oh, we're gonna block your path with this fucking forklift and some crates. I don't know what you're gonna do now, dummy. And then Chief being fucking 10 times stronger than them, just kind of push that shit out of the way. That didn't do anything. But so yeah, I was kind of disappointed that it could have maybe one of the rapscallions could have tried to grab the artifact. Chief would have had to just manhandle him or something, or maybe they were gonna shoot him. And they teased that at the beginning when they walked in and they put the guns on them. But yeah, overall there was not really any sort of action. And I think
it was a fourth of it was just spending time with Dave Chappelle's family.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And it's nice to see Chappelle getting work again. It's been a while, but
yeah.
That's a joke, by the way. They just have an actor who vaguely resembles Dave Chappelle. But yeah, no, I kind of agree with your rating. The first episode, I gave it a 7 because it had action and there was some good Halo stuff in it.
Yeah.
And this one, I would agree, it's probably a 5. There were a few Halo things, and one of them was when the door to that place opened, it had the original Covenant door opening from Halo 1, which I thought was cool. But then you brought up a good point that it's a Covenant door opening. They're on some rebel planet or whatever, some sky. What was it called? I think it was actually called Rubble. Is that the name? The name of
I don't even remember.
I think it was called Rubble or Rebel or something. So anyway, but so that was a nice touch, although it was kind of weird. It's maybe somebody who played the games gave the sound designers like a folder, like, hey, all this shit's from the
Yeah.
game. And then they labeled some of them like active camo. So whenever they use active camo, it's the correct sound and that kind of stuff. Whereas this one just says door and they're like, oh, this is a door. Let's use this sound. Like they didn't clearly specifically label it Covenant door. So they're just like, whatever, just threw it in. But yeah, I don't know, man. Like there needs to be more
Well,
action, I
well,
think.
they're setting up the villain, Owen.
Yeah, Burn
He,
Gorman.
yeah, so now he's gonna be the villain for, like, I guess Quan's nemesis.
Yeah. I kind of like that. I like that Burn Gorman is still getting work. And that's actually not a joke. He was in Torchwood and apparently Game of Thrones, which I've only seen a few episodes. Pacific Rim, been in a bunch of stuff, so it's cool to see him still getting work, especially in something like this
Yeah,
that's more well known, I guess. Not that Torchwood isn't well known in Game of Thrones, but anywho, it's cool. It's cool that they're going that way. I also feel like they're setting up a lot of subplots, I guess, because it's like
yeah, they
they've
are.
they've they've got the whole like female arbiter thing, like the girl that you said that has the mark of shame. Like this whole like we're leaving Quan with Dave Chappelle on this planet, and look what's gonna happen there. Then you've got the whole like Halsey and oh god, I forgot that other lady's name. The one that's
Keys
no, not Miranda
or
Keys.
the okay.
Like
I know what you're talking
the
about.
Indian lady.
Yeah, the one, the her higher up.
Yes.
I forgot her name, but yeah, her higher up.
Exactly. Like Padre anyway.
Yeah,
Yeah. The drama between them about how she like went behind her back and introduced the Cortana program and like reluctantly was like, yeah, I guess for Master Chief try it, but I'm not about to like allow it for all the Spartans. That's a whole thing. And then, and during that conversation too, like when they're sitting around the table in the war room, and they brought up the Cortana program, one of the people asked Halsey, like, you wrote all these papers on artificial AI and blah blah, but it depended on like biological material. Like, did you develop a way around that? And she kind of didn't actually answer because obviously she didn't, which is why she had the fucking clones. And
right.
so that's why the other guy stepped in and all that. And then at the end, they're just like, "Well, we'll just let you do it," kind of like almost washing their hands of it, like whatever we don't see, la 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 type deal. So there's that too, and you know, obviously we're missing a bunch, but I just hope that the episodes slowly get more action oriented because yeah, this one was a bit of a slog.
Yeah, pretty much the same thing here. I guess now that they're gonna, now that the arbiter, I gotta just call her. I'm just gonna call her the arbiter,
Let's call her the blonde arbiter, and then we'll
the
know who the
blonde
fuck we're
arbiter.
talking about. Yeah,
Yeah, so like the blonde arbiter now is gonna like infiltrate the humans. So we're gonna start seeing more. I guess Halo now. They talked about Halo. They found the ring, so we'll start seeing some of that. Maybe they'll have some fights on there, and well, it's not canon, but I was say like the flood shows up or whatever.
that'd be awesome.
But I wonder how they're gonna do the flood if they don't want to use CG.
Yeah, I mean that's actually a good point that you brought up too. Like you want to go into a whole what's his name, Wretch or Reth or whatever the fuck.
So one of the thieves that was like I guess no, I was gonna say possessed, was abducted by the Covenant and somehow lived. In the original game, I mean, yeah, in the original game canon, but it's in the expanded universe. It's like the books and stuff. He's actually a jackal. So, and then the arbiter is the person, if that really is the arbiter, but it's kind of looking like it is. It seems like what they're doing is they're putting a lot of a human actors in roles of Covenant so that they can save money. So I'm curious on how they're going to do the flood, how they're going to do Greymine. Does if Greymine's even in it? Like a sock puppet.
I mean, it's funny because it's like obviously they want you to know it's Halo, and they spend some money on CG, like because of all the starships and all this shit. I mean, obviously there's CG in it, but like I assume there's obviously a budget. And for season one, they probably didn't want to go crazy because they're like, what if the shit flops? But the fucking series is already renewed for season
Right.
two before we've even seen all of it. So I would hope that, I mean, it sucks, but at least hopefully in season 2 they're gonna be like, go balls out with the fucking CG, because it's like you already fucking renewed it for us, so you might as well spend the extra, fucking millions or whatever it's gonna be anyway, and give us more shit. Like maybe these human actors start off as human, but they somehow get transformed into Covenant. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like maybe a new
Well,
race of Covenant, that because since it's not canon, she can still be an arbiter, but it's not going to be like the traditional elite. Like it's like a sub elite or something. Some kind of half human, half elite. And then the same thing with the wretch. She somehow becomes a fucking jackal. Like
to yeah, and like I guess to say what you're talking about, we haven't even seen jackals in the series. Like we've had they've shown the Covenant a few times, and it's always been just elites and the prophets. So do they even make the models?
I said, I want to say that I saw jackals like in the trailer or something. I don't recall seeing grunts, but I could have swore I saw jackals somewhere in the trailer. But I have to go back and rewatch it. See if I can find it. If I can, I'll throw an image up on the screen here. If not,
Yeah,
whatever. Editing magic.
but yeah, like that's kind of my opinion. Nothing really happened, so there's not a lot of comments on.
I mean, all we can do, like, we'll just kind of speculate, like we're doing right now, kind of theorizing. Because I mean, we don't know for sure that blonde arbiter is going to even be arbiter. Sure, she might have a mark of shame, but maybe in the series, it's not actually the mark of shame. Maybe it's the mark of
Awesomeness.
well, I was gonna say maybe it's one of those things where like if there's new members of the Covenant that see her, like they think that she's a threat, like, oh, this is human, I gotta kill her. She can just be like, hey, nah, look, I got the fucking mark, like, don't hurt me. So it's like, oh, she's protected, or whatever. And then like
Yeah.
I think they referred to her as the blessed one, or the blessed one. So I mean, that
Well, Chief is blessed too.
right, because he can do the same thing that she can. But
Yeah.
but then that's getting into a whole nother thing. Like Chief is a blessed one. Like, I mean, are all Spartans gonna be like that? Because what we've seen so far is that anyone who tries to activate the artifact of the Chief has been unsuccessful. However, none of the other actual Spartans have touched it. The Dave Chappelle guy is like a pseudo Spartan, because he abandoned it. So like, I mean, is he a Spartan? Like, how would you even, you know, characterize that?
He's a runaway Spartan. He was a Spartan. He was like, fuck this shit, and like left.
Yeah, but I mean, he was also young, and he didn't. He's not.
He pulled a Dave Chappelle.
Yeah, he went to Africa or whatever. Just abandoned his post. But
Yeah.
like, so did he receive the full Spartan program treatment? I guess thing. So it's like that
Yeah,
could
because
be
he's
it.
already in the suit.
Yeah, he already got the. I don't like how they pronounce it, but I'll say it how they say it on the show. The Mjolnir armor.
Mjolnir.
It sounds weird, like
So
Mjolnir.
he's a full blown Spartan.
Well, so then maybe it's not other Spartans can activate it, but that's another thing that I'm sure they're gonna explore, hopefully in
Yeah.
upcoming episodes. Like I mentioned to you off recording, I watched the Declassified episode for the first episode, and the I think Pablo Schreiber, the guy who plays Master Chief, was saying that his favorite episode is episode 6, but he didn't give a reason why. Like, so I don't know if episode 6 is just gonna be like it's all about him. It's only his face the entire episode, or if it's like it's his favorite episode because he gets to do a lot of fucking grunt killing and murdering. And it's full of action. Like, I don't know. You can only
Yeah.
speculate, but that's interesting. That do we know how many episodes the series is? I would
I can.
assume. I mean, you can go ahead and look at it, but I would assume that it's at least 8, because I feel like nowadays for a TV show the minimum run is 8. But I mean, for this one, I would think it's probably more like 10, maybe 15. So I don't.
Let's see episodes. Right now it just shows the 2
Hmm,
episode guide 9.
9 episodes.
Yeah, 9 episodes.
Okay, well, so that's kind of around the number that I figured. So if his favorite episode's episode 6, man, if it's based on action, then that's gonna take a while to get going. But again, he didn't go into details, so we have no idea whether it's for that reason or just all
Yeah,
story related. But so, what is your? We talked about it while we were watching it, but what is your opinion on him just basically having his helmet off for like no fucking reason a
it's
lot?
stupid. It's forced. It's very forced. They I was watching they Washington Post Gaming had an interview with 343 like last week, and they were talking about how they want to make it about John, not about Master Chief. So they're really trying to humanize him. Um, and they also said that like one of the biggest obstacles getting in their way is the current fan base. I'm like, that's fucking stupid, dude. But they were talking about that with the game too, like both the game and the um. So they're really just trying to push their whole he's a person that can think not think but like feel, and not they're trying to make him not a Spartan.
Right. Get him in touch with his human side.
Emotionally. Yeah,
Yeah,
but
that's. I mean, I'm in the same boat. Like, I feel like it's absolutely 100% forced because he was walking around like that rebel
yeah, he's
planet or
carrying
whatever.
one
He
like
just
helmet, like, looks weird. Just put the fucking thing on, you have a free hand.
exactly. It was. I was. That's the comment I made. I'm like, wouldn't it make more sense for him to put the fucking helmet on? Like, I mean, everyone knows who you are now. Like, when you first get there, like to know that oh, is this actually John? Like, yeah, okay, hey, it's me. And like, all right, cool, we know it's you. And helmet back on. But
And it's like you're in a dangerous area with riffraff. Wouldn't you want like your fucking shields and shit? Like,
exactly, because remember the whole thing in episode 1 was if you want to kill me, you gotta aim here. So it's
yeah,
like I'm just gonna expose my head to a bunch of riffraff villainy. Like it didn't really make sense. But I, the only thing I think of, I can one of the real reasons I can give for it, at least in my opinion, is that not only are they trying to play to his humanity a lot more, but like I feel like they got an actor because apparently this guy was in Orange Is the New Black, and I don't know what the rest of his pedigree is, but he's
mhm,
not just like some guy they pulled off the street. Like he's an actor, so I
yeah,
feel like they want you to be like, oh look, it's the guy from Orange Is the New Black, and like yeah, he's Master Chief now,
star
awesome.
power.
Exactly, they want to play off of his star power and his like recognizability, and if he's wearing a helmet for 90% of the time, then they're not gonna get that.
I kind of feel
Um,
they're doing the same thing with the Halo franchise in general. They're just playing off the name, like because they're not trying to make Halo Halo. They're trying to do their own thing. It's like, well, then why don't I just start a different franchise? Like,
I mean, the point you brought up, I think it was in the other episode, was like, why did they have to focus on Master Chief? Like, the Halo universe is well established. Like, they could have picked a random ass Spartan, fucking did whatever the hell they wanted to do, and it would still be Halo. Just
yeah,
wouldn't be Master Chief. You know what I mean? And if they really wanted to try and bring in the casual viewer, they could just make that Spartan have like a different color green armor. You know what I mean? Like,
oh, DOA Spartan.
yeah, you know what I mean? Like the female one or whatever. But
Yeah, um, I kind of feel like Sean, that Sean video that I put on our Discord was like, who is this for? Because you're pissing off all the actual fans of the series, and no one else gives a shit enough to like watch it. Because if you don't care about Halo, you're not going to watch it. It's not like the cool thing anymore. So
right.
it's kind of weird how they do this when there's no audience, in my opinion.
It's almost like one of those things where you try to cater to the lowest common denominator, but you end up not appealing to anyone.
Like what they did with their games. Which in the interview they actually did admit that they were like Halo 4. We were chasing other dragons, so they did admit it.
And then what's their excuse now? Still
Oh,
chasing them dragons?
well, are you talking about for Infinite?
Yeah.
For Infinite, it's actually a lot of technical stuff, but I don't know. I can get into that, but I don't know if you want to get into that on this.
We'll keep this
Yeah,
mostly as a TV show. If you guys want to hear us discuss Halo more, I mean, we have no problem talking about Halo any day, all day, every day. But
it's
just let
actually one of
us.
the podcast topics that I put in our list.
Okay. Yeah, I did remember seeing that. So, just
Yeah,
leave us a comment, and if not, what we're going to talk about on the next podcast anyway. So if you're not already, make sure you're subscribed, hit the notification icon, and all that good shit. But yeah. So I guess closing thoughts for this episode, maybe.
kind of didn't need to exist.
Could have been shorter,
Yeah, you could have just been like last time on Halo and like gotten everything you needed.
like Dragon Ball Z or whatever, where they recap
Yeah,
everything. Yeah. I mean, I felt like it was pretty much a filler episode. Like, yes, they're expanding on things, but also they were like, well, we also need to increase the runtime a bit, so let's follow this random guy you've never heard of. His name is Soren, by the way. Guy
he's actually canon
referred to as Dave Chappelle, but yeah, Soren. Like, well, I mean, okay, he's canon from what? Like the books, or I don't
from
remember
the
him.
yeah from the
Okay,
books.
I was like, because I don't remember him from the games, but yeah. So they're pulling him from the expanded universe, which is cool, I guess. But they're like, let's follow him after he abandons, goes AWOL, leaves the Spartan program essentially, and lo and behold, you find out he has a family, a wife, and a little kid who's named Kessler,
Yeah,
something like that. I don't know. It gave me
I think
Star
it's
Wars.
Kessler.
It gives me
Yeah,
Star Wars vibes because of the Kessel Run. But anyway, like that's I don't know. It's again, this is just filler episode. They could have accomplished the majority of this in like 20 minutes instead of an hour.
yeah,
So yeah, I would say for this episode, even though we were kind of agreed that it's a 5, I would say really only I would recommend it if you were just bored, like you just wanted to watch something. Like, yeah,
that's what I'm
here.
saying. Like, if you had nothing, like it was, I guess, all right just to watch, but it's not anything that I would put on top of my list. Like, if there's other things that you have to get around to, hell, even playing the game, like I would not be like, yeah, you gotta watch this. This got to be on top of your list.
Yeah, no, I agree. Um, yeah, that's about it. I think for me, like,
Yeah.
I don't really
Same here.
know.
Like I said, nothing really happened, so I can't like.
I'm just trying to think of like one high point, like you know what I mean. Like, let's kind of end it on like one good thing, and like I kind of already mentioned it was the fucking
The
door
door.
sounds. Yeah, exactly, exactly. Like, okay, that was cool. That was a nice little like tie into the game. But I mean, what else was there? Um, yeah, like
I like how they're going the chosen one route. Like that, stupid. I hate that storyline.
yeah, I mean, you've seen it so many times across TV shows and movies that it's like it didn't need to be in Halo also. But
Yeah,
Hollywood is out of ideas, and it's sad that a franchise like Halo has just such a rich backstory and universe that they have to like just rehash old shit. You know.
yeah. Hmm.
But
Oh, that's it.
all right, so that's gonna do it for this episode. I've been Matthew,
I've been Danu.
and we'll see you guys in the next one.
Yep, laters.
Peace.